I'm Tony.
I'm Melissa, and we're from Dapper Kitty Music.
We're here to talk about
And show you
various tongue drums. So, this is by far my favorite of our tongue drum collection. Melissa, what do we have right here?
this is a Rav Vast B Celtic minor steel tongue drum. It is a drum that is made in Russia, and let me just show you how the notes are organized. So the most important note is the middle note. This is sometimes referred to as the ding, and this is B. So I said B Celtic minor. This is the home pitch as well. B, F sharp, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, A. And you'll notice I'm playing this drum on very soft yarn mallets. I know that some people recommend timpani mallets. I think those are a little bit too hard unless you have some really worn down timpani mallets. These though feel just right. I would never play this instrument with anything other than a soft yarn covered mallet, and it has a beautiful sound using the mallets, but also sounds beautiful just by using your hands.
And you wouldn't, obviously you wouldn't use the rubber mallets that you typically use on other tongue drums on this one.
Yes, and I'm going to just point out just now that we have a video that will compare mallets for different tongue drums.
Oh, nice. So what I'm noticing about this drum is it's very different from the other tongue drums in how the tongues themselves are shaped. So you have these curves here that basically create tongues within the tongues, and they have a different sound.
That's correct. So when I play, if I play just right in the center of each tongue, I get the note intended. If I play the edge of each tongue, and each note or each tongue has these edges to it, you get harmonics. So here's the pure note. I'm going to dampen it, and here is on the edge. So you can hear the harmonics if you listen closely, different notes in addition to the intended pitch. It's very dramatic on the ding. I'm going to play on one of the smaller tongues just to show as well what that sounds like. So here's the regular note. Am I dampening it? Not too well. And wow. Here is the ding. So you can hear the harmonics, not quite as dramatic as on the home pitch or on the ding itself, but still very beautiful.
And this particular drum, I notice, has a very large apron area. That's the part between the tongues.
Between the tongues and the ding.
Yeah, and you can play there, but I also was noticing earlier that you can play along the rim here, and you'll get all of the various notes and possibly more of a spectrum even. Did you talk about that a bit?
Yeah, so this is a really fun drum for hand drumming as well as for mallet playing, because you can take advantage of this apron here. And as Tony has pointed out, you can play on the side. As you play closer on the apron to the notes, you get a little bit more pitch than as you get away from it. So you have a lot of variation of sound, and this is something, of course, you have with the mallets. It's not quite as striking as when you hand drum and play this apron, and it is a sound that a lot of people who play this particular tongue drum take advantage of getting these little sounds that are in between the pitches to create some spaces as well. And I guess the biggest thing that I notice is that when people are new to this drum, they get so excited about the harmonics that they want to make all their compositions have these harmonics all the time, when you really want to strategically place them. I love them, though. I just love hearing them.
Yes, it is a beautiful sounding drum. It almost reminds me of, what do you call a hand drum? The Jamaican
A hand pan,
A
or
hand pan.
yeah. So there are hand pans that are kind of similar to it. Those are also sometimes made out of steel. Sometimes they're made out of tanks. So they're tank drums. These are all can be seen as related. How they're sourced, varies for a long time. They were kind of sourced from junk. So oil ships that left the steel cans around, they would take those cans and they would cut them up, or the petroleum containers that you get. There are a lot of tongue drums that are homemade in this country, in the United States. They're actually made from the old petroleum containers. So do it yourself, and they're beautiful sounding as well.
I can understand why you would want one of these in the studio. I know that's a question I always ask. It's unique. It's got a gorgeous sound to it. Is there other reasons you would want something like this in your music studio?
I particularly like this.
Interesting, it resonated
I
off your
know,
voice.
I know. It's a very resonant drum. I particularly love the sound of this drum. The manufacturer calls it the B Celtic minor. It is related to D major, and I wanted that particular scale represented in some of the music that we do. I play recorder. I have a little bit of past playing some Celtic music, and so that's what drew me to this particular drum. Rav Vast makes a large variety of these drums in different scales and different keys. It's a very heavy drum, but I will flip it over for you. You'll notice that unlike other drums, this one is not hollow inside, but looks like that. Okay? And you can see it's a very heavy, well, you can't see, but it is a very heavy drum. So I'm going to put it back. I'm going to show you our stand. So this is just a regular Latin percussion stand. There's a sit-down version of it, which is why I have here. There's also a stand-up version that people love. I love this drum stand for displaying this drum, because this is not a drum that does its best if it's covered up or put in a case. It's much better leaving out like this, and it's gorgeous this way, and it's inviting. People want to play it as they see it, because it's just a beautiful looking drum. Some people get really into Rav Vast culture, and they will actually macrame a yarn covering for the edge, because the edge is a little bit more vulnerable than the rest of the instrument. Plus it looks really cool. I haven't done mine yet, but I do know a lot of people who love this instrument and will protect their instrument that way.
Does it affect the sound at all?
No, it doesn't, because it's a very light macrame yarn covering, and it only covers the gold part that you see of the rim. It doesn't really go up into the instrument where one might play.
So the last question I have for you is, where would someone get this instrument? if you have a music studio and you say, well, I've just watched this great video, this Rav Vast tongue drum, and I want one.
It is as easy and as difficult depending on where you are located, to be honest. This was not an easy drum to get in the United States. There are companies that sell this drum, and if you have a PayPal account where, let's say you have a solid 1,000 in there, you can pay for it that way, but they don't take regular credit cards, so it kind of limits what's out there. They're hard to find on Amazon. Usually there's one available at a time, so that's another issue. Sometimes there are used ones available, so if you don't have, $1,000, you might be able to find one a little bit cheaper. Etsy for a while had them, but again, Etsy, not just Etsy, but also eBay had this drum, and in both cases, if you have the money in your PayPal account, it's fine. The drum is shipped from Russia, and sometimes the descriptions get a little bit confusing. This drum was supposed to have a case, and it did not come with a case. However, it's beautifully in tune and came in great shape, so I have no complaints. And you're not supposed to keep it in a case. You know, you're supposed to travel in a case, not keep it in a case. So I'm okay with it. I have no complaints.
Right, and it's not exactly a drum you would travel a lot with anyway because of its size and weight.
Oh, but people love traveling. This is a favorite among a lot of people. Do street performances or buskering using this drum.
Ones?
No, using this drum. Yeah, yeah. So there is a whole very enthusiastic Rav Vast drumming culture, well established out there, where they will use this instrument. They may even have a stand like this that is portable and can be carried. But again, it's not the way I would keep it at home.
So the last thing is, would you play us out? I will hand you the mallets here.
Yes.
This could give the Beatles a run for their money on the longest single note. So if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. As well, keep your eyes out for more of our talks and demonstrations of the tongue drums in our music studio. We have quite a few of them.
Thanks a lot for watching.